Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm your host, Tricia Carr. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this very special episode of Charmed Life. We are on location in Loveland, Colorado for the Lightworkers Lab Bliss Retreat. And you guys may recognize, if you've been watching the show the last month, the amazing, luminous, we both look like Anunnaki if you're watching this video live. For some reason, we keep turning blue. Arcturian, yeah. This is Crystal Anne Compton, spiritual teacher and intuitive channel. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, everybody. It's lovely to see you again. Am I in the shot? I don't want to.
Yeah, you're in the shot.
Okay, we'll be very good about that.
So we've been getting really blissed out up here in Loveland. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. So this is a connection of Crystal with the Lightworkers Lab, which, in case you didn't know, now you know.
Come on.
The Lightworkers Lab is an online spiritual community. It is hosted on Facebook and founded by Crystal Anne Compton. And it's been, what has it been, about 14 months or something like that? 15 months.
I think it was June of 2016.
16.
Yeah.
Not very long at all.
Not at all.
I was telling my husband about that, and he was very impressed with how this community has grown. We have about 2,500 people, members in the lab. And I'm going to let you explain what the Lightworkers Lab is.
Okay.
For folks who haven't heard the last two episodes that you were on. Not the very last two, but yeah.
The Lightworkers Lab is a spiritual community that is hosted online. Presently, we are hosted on Facebook. We have about 2,500 members, and we're a pretty active group. And this weekend, we had our very first retreat. So we have a very strong sense of community. We have a very strong sense of purpose. We understand that we are here to be shining our light. And the Lightworkers Lab is also just a space for people wherever they are, whatever part of their journey they're on. It doesn't matter what religion you are or what groupthink construct exists in your life. We're just here to be with one another on the path and to enrich and to edify. So it's a really cool community. It's totally free. And all you have to do is ask to join. You do have to answer one question, which will verify that, well, you don't suck. Is that bad? Is that bad? No, I'm joking.
That's not spiritual.
No, we have community guidelines because we want the community to be of a certain vibration, and it is just fantastic, and it's going to go bigger and better, and I can't wait to see what happens.
And so this is the Bliss, our first retreat, the Bliss Retreat it's called, and boy, did we bliss out.
We did. I'm vibing, vibrating.
Yes, we didn't need any sleep.
Not at all.
But we should talk about, we're at Sunrise Ranch, which is this amazing property, a retreat property in Loveland. There are 1,000 cats, and I'm in love with all of them, and they're all coming home with me.
You talk about blissing out, Tricia with a cat. That's something to see.
And the meals were included with pretty much sourced property, right? Yes. Everything was grown here, and so beautiful.
Really
and then
tasty.
We have 30 who joined, right? About 30?
About 35.
About 5 attendees. We were here first on Friday night, and Crystal gave an amazing opening service. What was the name of what was the title of it? What do we call that?
Opening service.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there. Sorry, did I have for it? I don't think I did. Welcome service.
It was a welcome service. And then we had on Saturday, which, yesterday, all day long workshops, and amazing. We learned a lot of new techniques. People really are up-leveling spiritually. Mm-hmm. Actually, on Friday night, I should mention, we had a fireside ritual with shamanic practitioner Justine Uselding, Dr. Justine Uselding, who was on my show a few months ago. Is she in the room yet?
No.
So we have several people here who are actually going to join us and talk about their experience. And so do that. People and the phone lines are open. Particularly, we did go live in the Lightworkers Lab. So everyone who is listening, you guys hear me talk about the Lightworkers Lab, and many of you have joined. I highly encourage you to, if you are a spiritual seeker and you are interested in this, if you're interested in this show and the kind of content that I am bringing, I'm a teacher and the moderator in the Lightworkers Lab. So, I think that you would really benefit from just the amazing free resources, the community, the fellowship. It is, if you feel like you are alone in your seeking, you're alone in your experience and your perspective, you have 2,500 people who are your family, and they're just waiting to welcome you. And so let's welcome one of our blissed out attendees who wants to come over and share their experience. And by the way, Jarvis, while someone is getting in the chair, I just want to tell you, Ms. Kelly, Kelly, who's sitting down with us right now, she, I said, we're going to be broadcasting the show for, live here. And Kelly's like, is Jarvis coming?
Nice.
I wanted to see you.
Oh,
yeah, a little closer
sweet.
to the mic.
Sorry.
Well, Kelly, so you actually are in the Teachers Development Program in the Lightworkers Lab too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us about, do you want to share your experience with the retreat? And you might want to get a little bit closer.
Yes.
Thanks.
Actually, the retreat was amazing. All of the instructors and healers were on point. You guys were completely high vibing and spreading the love throughout the room and the entire facility with all of us. It was amazing.
Wonderful. And was there a particular time? Was there like a healing or one of the services or one of the classes, anything that really stood out for you? Anything at all? I mean, there was so much, of course.
There was so much.
Yeah.
I mean, the fireside ceremony was amazing.
Yeah.
But Saturday being so, look at
Jarvis,
that.
put the pictures
so
up.
And so we had, on Saturday, it was quite an intensive day with all of the instructors teaching. But yeah, Saturday was probably a pretty big impact for me. It hit home. It got to my intention for the retreat, which was based on forgiveness and moving forward. So you ladies did a great job touching on a lot of different points throughout the day to help me get to my process. So
wonderful. Yes, everyone set intentions and we shared them at the end. A lot of folks experienced, I think, just quite a lot of magic.
There was a lot of heart opening.
Very much.
Yeah, a lot. Yes.
Really cool because we didn't know each other in person. Like none of us have met in person before.
Right.
This is kind of the magic that we have now with the information age. It is quickly turning into intuition age. And when we met each other, it was like instantaneous, like we know each other. And some people some people don't use their picture, like a picture of their face for their profile picture.
Right.
So they're like coming up saying, hello, and so. And I'm like, well, I can feel you, but I didn't know what your face looked like up until now, but now I recognize you.
Well, I think it's such a testament too. Like even the staff here at the ranch, when I arrived, she asked me, do you guys know each other? Because everybody's so loving on each other. And I said, no, this is the first time we've met face to face, most of us.
Yeah.
And she was amazed at how much love that the labbies who were here were sharing with each other. So I think we've put up a pretty good reputation for ourselves.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, thank you. Anything else you want to share from the retreat, Kelly?
No, I would encourage if those who are in the lab in the next year, when this happens again, to really consider it, because it's something that I think all of us benefited from, and the community itself, just the networking, meeting you all face to face, kind of seals the deal.
Kelly, actually,
kind of seals the deal.
Tell folks, I have a hard time pronouncing your last name, but actually I should have said, introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm Kelly Halija.
Yeah, Halija, that's it. Thank you.
I live in the Pittsburgh region. So we drove out here for the retreat.
That's great.
Good stuff.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Right. Bye, Jarvis.
Bye.
He said goodbye to you. Yes. Who wants to come up now? Stephanie, come on up. Stephanie is joining us. I'll let her introduce herself. And she's getting on in, and be sure to get close to the mic.
Hello.
Hello.
How exciting.
And Stephanie, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell folks what you do.
My name is Stephanie Weinmann, and I'm a moderator in the Lightworkers Lab. And I get up on Tuesdays and do intuitive readings and teach classes and just connect with everybody in this amazing community that Crystal Anne Compton has created for us.
Yes, it's wonderful. What was some of you? What's that?
All of it's free.
All of it's free in the Lightworkers Lab. It's crazy. There is so much just education there. I know it sounds like we're selling something. We're just selling love, folks, and it's free for the big price of free. So, what were some of the takeaways? What outcomes for you, or your favorite parts? Anything you want to share about the retreat?
there are two things that stick out in my mind right now. The first one is in Crystal's class yesterday morning, and she was talking about the heart coherence and the connection between the brain and the heart. And she taught us how to connect in the gamma waves and how to connect our heart with the gamma waves. And that is something that so resonated with me and that I'm going to bring with me as a daily regimen, actually. So that was really amazing. And last night we had a pretty incredible reading and energy session with the whole group. And that was something I've never experienced before. And I'm still like on an energy high from that. I didn't sleep too much last night from that as well. So those are the two things that really stick out in my head. And I really do want to encourage anybody, if you have the opportunity to come to the Bliss Retreat next year, I highly recommend it. The fellowship is incredible. And seeing people in person, like we are all so connected, but to actually meet face to face, it's like nothing other. There's nothing else like it. So it's pretty incredible.
323-524-2599 if anybody wants to call in, particularly if any of our lab members are listening and watching who participated, because we did broadcast live to the Facebook group and we did some reading and healing remotely too. We're just taking full advantage of the intuition and / information age. Is kind of like we're ascending. We're kind of doing a little 3D, a little 4D, a little 5D.
A lot of 3D, 4D, and 5D
dimension. I'm talking about here.
Yes.
We're pulling in some multiverse.
Absolutely, cracked me right open. I have to tell you.
And Stephanie was a part of the reading and healing session that we did last night as a reader in the lab, and oh my gosh, her is so accurate, so loving, so powerful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah,
it really was.
Amazing.
I loved having that connection with us who were up there, and obviously with everybody, but to be able to connect and see how each of our readings kind of flowed. Thank you.
Flowed.
It flowed.
Yeah. It happens.
How it flowed into each other's readings was really amazing to see and experience. So
yeah, there's our panel right there. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, great. That's so cool.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yes,
that was, and whoever wants to come on up next, go on ahead if you don't mind. That was, if you're listening, by the way, which I should go ahead and let everyone know in case it is your first time joining me on Charmed Life, you can listen to the podcast version. And that is on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker. You just need to search Charmed Life with Tricia Carr. And if you listen to the audio and sometimes are interested in what the actual video, the TV show version of this, you can find the archives on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tricia Carr. And then you can just see how beautiful all these people are that are coming on. And I have another one. Oh, so vulnerable, so much sharing. Can you just tell everybody who you are and what you do and your experience as well?
Wow, I don't even know where to begin. Well, first,
your name?
I'm Kimberly Bateman. A lot of people call me Kimmy. Kimmy. And my experience here was beyond magical. Just like for those who are, new to the lab and we're unsure about coming, the next time they have a retreat, just come. Oh my goodness. As she said, I was vulnerable. I literally, during the reading and healing session, I opened myself up and to probably the most vulnerable I've ever been in my life. And everyone was just like so receptive and opening and welcoming. And because I know I have gifts, but I don't trust myself as a reader, as a person giving a reading, but they convinced me, like they opened up. They're like, you got to do this. So I'm going to get myself up on the lab more and give readings and healings and share as much as I can.
That's wonderful. Yes, you were like, it's very vulnerable. And I just want to point out that vulnerability is a healing energy to bring out into the world. And I, that is a big part of what we did here, and sharing your heart, and even, you know, just sharing whatever you are at the time, your truth, your authenticity. If it's authentic, it is real, it is really healing, and it is your work in this world, in this plane. And I know it seems scary, but if you do just share wherever you are, then that actually sends energy out to everyone who is in proximity, not just proximate and just listening, but to the entire universe. And it's just real. It's ascending energy to be vulnerable with who you are. I think this is the most fundamental work that we do. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you for letting me be here and share my experience. It was beyond powerful. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And I want to encourage anyone, if you are interested in, and whoever wants to come up next, if you're interested in this show, and if you think that, oh, I'm just a voyeur, and, you know, I'm not magical, I don't have intuitive gifts. If you're interested, I believe, first of all, I believe everyone's gifted. And I believe that if you're interested in this program or any of this kind of content, then you actually have an intention to open up to the truth of your magic, to your abilities as a light worker or as a spiritual being, and to bring that love and ground it down into this experience. Would you agree, Crystal?
Absolutely. And I just wanted to say about Kimberly is that when somebody brings themselves to an interaction with that kind of vulnerability, it allows the rest of the people in the room to access that vulnerability in themselves and take part in the healing. And for the healers, the people who went up to Kim, and there were, I think, 3, and you were one of them, who were doing Reiki and doing adjustments, they have to occupy that healing energy in order to deliver any kind of healing. So many people were healed just by one person being bold enough to say, hey, I'm vulnerable, or I'm scared, or I don't know how to use my voice, or I'm ready to use my voice, and let's shift that, let's adjust that. So that's what was really powerful, not just about you, Kimberly, although that was super powerful, but just about the entire weekend, because people came here ready to shift, and people came here in touch with the possibility of what they could become and what we as a community could actually become. And it's important. It's important to the community, but it's also important to the world. We need more people who are connecting in this way and expressing outward. So it was rad. Tricia
Absolutely.
Carr.
Oh, Crystal Anne Compton. But you bring up a very important point here. I think the cornerstone, was it the Dalai Lama that says, be the change you want to see in the world?
That was me.
That was the Dalai Crystal.
No, that was Gandhi, I think.
Was it Gandhi? It makes you okay. This is like another golden rule, maybe the platinum rule, because it is very much an expression of the golden rule, which is love thy neighbor as thyself, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you are heartbroken, if you're frustrated, if you feel disenfranchised, thank you, Jarvis. That's the man.
I told you so.
You told me so. Well, you lied. And then you told me the truth.
Well, okay. I got there though.
Jarvis just put up a meme for the listeners. He just put up a little meme of Gandhi with his quote. And so if you are, like I say, disenfranchised or heartbroken or scared about what is happening in our world, all you have to do, this is simple, but I think it was Mark Volbrecht, who was an amazing energy worker, who was here with us and was bringing in cosmic rays of love, divine love.
Powerful.
Serious, no jokes. Mm-hmm. And I was saying it really is simple, that if you feel disenfranchised, then be enfranchised in your heart, and it will shift the energy of yourself, of course, which is the goal. That's who you're in charge of. Right. But it will shift others, just like Kimberly's vulnerability helps other people to tap into their vulnerability by bringing that energy. So I do encourage you to reach out to other spiritual communities. Come to the Lightworkers Lab. Start a meetup in your area, a development circle. Start something in your area, and then also join this online community. But do start saying yes to your spiritual abilities, to your spiritual side, to your love, and start being the change. Start being the peace. Start being the connection that you want to see in this world. And it is happening. It is working. It works.
It does work. And it's through the weakness and expressing the areas where we're unsure and uncertain, as again, where other people can step in and do what they came here to do. And often somebody doesn't really know that they have a healing ability, or that they have a word for somebody, or that they can actually do their light work until somebody else shows their vulnerability or their weakness or their injury or their wound. And so it's such a synergistic and wonderful exchange. So many miracles this weekend, and miracles in this community, just where we're going. And we've gotten so far in such a short time. And I'm excited about 2018. You and I are going to be partnering in a couple of different ways, but it's going to be associated with the lab. And I'm just excited about the new people coming in, because I think people are ready to get more serious about being connected and about having an evidential life. To me, that's important. It's one thing if, that sounds like a good philosophy, but does it show up in my life? Does it show up in my body? Does it show up in my bank account? Like, how can I make this actually work for me? And so I think people are ready to find ways that they can actually shift and up level. Those are my thumbs up level.
Thumbs up. I agree. And I think that what else is evidence is if you're seeing the pain and the suffering in the world, let that be evidence of the fact that there is actually a shift afoot, because you have to see the trash in order to clean the house. This is my belief. And that feels better anyway.
Yes.
I think that's how we're made. If it feels better, then that means you're on the right path. And indeed. Well, let's talk. Justine isn't here, but I want to talk about some of the work that Justine did.
Yeah.
So she is a clinical psychologist and a shamanic practitioner, and she led us in a fireside ritual on Friday night, on the first night, with drumming. And we had some we took photos that were pretty insane. They were very evidential we saw all kinds of spirits. We saw angels. We saw all kinds of orbs. You saw faces and swirls and stuff like that with your naked eye before the photos were taken.
Right. And one of our moderators, Amber Poole, saw a very tall being standing behind Justine as Justine was moving around the fire circle. And as I was just watching the flame, I saw like spheres, I saw spirals and what seemed to be like faces. And so I broke away just a bit and I started taking pictures, because if I can see it with my naked eyes, like when it comes out in the photography, we're going to be able to see some more. And so when it did come out, we had like flashes of purple, streaks of purple, which looked to me like angel wings. We had one person had their face kind of superimposed with another being that was standing right there with them. And we just had so much really cool energy flowing through that entire circle. It was powerful.
The flame in the fire pit, which was round, kept photographing in a cube shape,
like a cube.
It was weird.
Metatron's cube.
Like
Metatron's cube. Metatron, he's my real tight homeboy.
Yeah.
So where I go, Metatron goes, and he does tend to show up with those purple flashes and with a lot of the sacred geometry, which is some of what I was seeing. So yeah, we had a lot of friends, divine emissaries with us that night and during this entire weekend.
Yes, we definitely bent the laws of physics, or what was the quote that was in the tips about living? It was from his name? Greg Braden's book. He said, we do not live by the laws of our current quantum physics, or was it? Yeah, we do not. And we did not.
No, duh. Science is moving toward a greater understanding, but at this time they don't get it because they don't allow for divine energy, the most powerful energy. They don't work with that or allow for that. But we did.
Yeah. And science, science is wonderful. Obviously we've had great advancements in society because of science. But it is dogmatic. It's quite frankly,
it's like a religion unto itself.
It very much is. And scientists have to have faith in order to pursue hypotheses and inspect them. So, it's a different, in my opinion, it's kind of become the new religion particularly because I live in a much more, pragmatic kind of part of the country.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is just the new religion, in my opinion. And it's great. And I'm not saying there's ultimately anything, wrong with any particular religion, but it doesn't allow for divine flow, as you said. And I think that there's more to it than just a system. We're more than just a system.
Mm-hmm.
We're more than just a bag of blood and bones.
Totally. We stand outside of that. We stand outside of this form as a human. We stand outside of this dimension. We stand outside of the universe. We stand outside of it all. We are the all that is, right along with source energy. And the problem you got me started. The problem I have with the science being so dogmatic is that it just doesn't allow for real science to emerge. And really it is. So we've just admitted in science recently that consciousness is non-local. It doesn't exist in the brain. So when we die, it doesn't mean our consciousness dies. And science is just beginning to start to play around with that. But the scientists who are trailblazing here are often ridiculed. We've got scientists like Rupert Sheldrake trying to give TED Talks and then having those pulled down from YouTube because nobody really wants to talk about this non-locality or the real science. And so people don't know what's possible. And I think what keeps people stuck so often is not knowing what their potential is, not knowing what they can actually achieve just by activating this consciousness, which comes with intention. So science does real spirituality, I don't want to say it, real life a disservice by being so dogmatic. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to preach.
No, I love it.
Can I get a witness?
Yeah, amen.
Right? Yeah. I'm saying.
And I think you said it. It doesn't allow for people can't feel their own potential. I think the dogma being restricted to a particular system, something that is imposed from without, is quite literally just a limit.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
Right.
It's, very literally that. Well, we do have a few calls. Let's see. Yeah, Jarvis, let's bring one on the line and let's see who is wanting to chat it up with us. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi.
Hi, who is this? Hello.
Hello.
I guess maybe we lost her. Let's try again. Yeah, I don't hear her anymore, Jarvis. Oh, wait, there's somebody. Hello, you're on the air. All right, Jarvis. Oh, there's somebody. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this? All right.
Did we get butt dialed?
We get. Hello, someone's spiritual butt. Get your spiritual ass up on this line. Jarvis is cracking up. I can feel it. We're even though we're not in the same room, I can feel it. Jarvis, let's try someone else. Oh, hello. There's someone. Hi. Who's this?
Are you talking to me?
I think I am. Yes. Hi.
Well, it's hard to tell because every time you said hello, I'm sure about 500 other people said hello.
No?
Okay. Well, who is this?
Hi, my name's Brooke.
Hi, Brooke. How are you? Are you? What's going on with you today? You've been listening to the show?
Yes, I watched last night. I thought you guys were amazing. I guess I had 1,000 questions asked, but not enough time for that. So I'm just glad that there are other people out there in the world that are on a path or have already, reached a path that I haven't reached yet.
Oh, you're on your path, sweetheart. Of course. Just like we were saying at the beginning.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah, good.
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Well, I believe I'm on the path, but, I guess maybe I'm lacking patience, which I don't want to be, because that doesn't really serve the purpose. But I guess I need to find some more people like you and labbers and et cetera and figure out how to get there.
Yes.
Just feel kind of a little stuck. And I guess watching the retreat, thank you for sharing that, by the way. It was beautiful. Your pictures and the live show last night, it was awesome.
Wonderful. I think that is just about one of the biggest challenge. Maybe it's the biggest challenge as humans is presence, is figuring out how to be here now. You're speaking of it, Brooke, as patience, and then feeling stuck is another way of feeling like you're supposed to be somewhere else. It's the biggest challenge I think we have, right? And
Absolutely.
It's because we are committed to we know that we are actually eternal, but we're here focusing on finite reality. And so that dichotomy just feels really strange. And it takes a very long time to ground an eternal nature into a finite physical experience. it takes time. I said
it does. And, I think it's important to mention that if you're feeling stuck, that you do have to take action steps. You do have to start moving in the direction of what you want to intentionally develop in your life. And these don't have to be huge steps. Like you don't have to move to Sedona and become a crystal practitioner. Do you know what I mean? It could be something as simple as joining up with a group of people who are on your wavelength. And here at the retreat, we had in all ages were here. I don't know what the youngest person was that we had.
I think it was me.
I'm sure it was me.
I'm pretty sure it was me.
You're always so rude. No, but we had all kinds of people, and it wasn't about where we were from or how old we were, which I was the youngest, but it was about just coming together and taking that action step. And some people were actually really scared, weren't you, to actually come to the retreat? Some people were scared to fly,
right? And
they took a lot of personal risk really to do that, but they were really cracked open. And so understanding that
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I have a tendency to interrupt. My bad.
Okay.
I thought you were done.
No, I was just saying that understanding that you have this feeling of being stuck is just a sign that spirit is giving you in your awareness that there are some things that you can do, some things that you can shift to start to open up. And so look into that and see what feels good for you and follow that energy.
Mm-hmm. And as I've heard you say many times, Crystal, if it doesn't scare you a little bit, it might not be worth doing.
That's right. Might not be big enough.
Mm-hmm. It is scary. Crystal. Yeah. So how does that?
It all scares me.
Well, then you have a lot of options. Then you're rich with options. Well, thank you so much for being in the lab.
I appreciate all that you do and sharing your time and energies with everybody else. It was really a phenomenal experience, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Jarvis, we'll take another call if that's okay. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Hi, this is Amber. How are you?
Hi, Amber. Are you one of the Lightworkers Lab members?
Yes, I'm part of the lab. Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you so much for calling in. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I show up as Amber Dawn on there. I'm pretty new.
Oh, great! Wonderful. Well, what's going on?
I've been. It just so happens that I usually have to work on Sundays, so I have never had a chance to call and participate in the live show. So this is actually really cool that I have a day off when you guys are going. So that's awesome.
Awesome.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
I really wanted to talk to Tricia. I have 2 dogs. I'm hoping that maybe you could just pass a message for me.
Okay. But I'm going to tell you first that you can pass the message, but let's talk about what you want to talk about to the pups.
What?
You can pass the message.
I want you to let the dog know we are looking to move soon, and she's going to have a yard because she's been cooped up in an apartment. And I mean, I take her for walks all the time, but I can tell she's kind of, I can't only tell her so much, but if you could just let her know that, like, a big yard is coming and everything is changing for the positive, that would be awesome.
I can feel her energy through you. And so you understand that our animals absolutely, they are telepathic. So they hear our thoughts, they feel our emotions. They are always reading our vibration. When you were explaining that, she got very excited about it because you got very excited about it. So I can feel her without fully hooking into her directly, but I can feel her energy through you. And she is very excited. It feels very much like she's kind of crying, weeping with joy, like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And she says, I'm happy. I'm so happy. And you worry too much about me. I take care of you. She's like, oh my gosh, I take care of you. Who do you think you are? Excuse me, I'm in charge. So, but I just want to let you know that they do hear, they're reading our vibration, they're reading our frequency all the time. So they hear our thoughts. They don't listen to every single thought. And besides that, our thoughts are confusing because they are more literal and they don't overthink things like we do. So they're kind of like, what's happening? That's happening. I thought this was happening because we're like, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be there. You know, all the crazy things we get into in our brains. And so if you want to,
right, we're very linear like that.
They're very, yes. So if you want to, she's been hearing you, you've been very excited about giving her this, and you can just speak it aloud to your animals so that you can stay kind of on track. That's one way that you could do it. And I do that with my own animals because I know my brain is, firing all kinds of things.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So you guys are good. She's she's very happy up to now anyway. So yeah, you're very sweet. Did you get to watch any of the retreat footage while we were,
She was on last night.
No, I haven't. I haven't actually seen any of that yet, but I will check it out definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Animals.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy everything that you do. I learn so much from you, and I appreciate everything. And have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Amber. You as well. Thanks for calling. Well, we have just a few minutes left. Is there anybody else want to?
Justine here?
No, Justine's not here, but that's all right. It's Justine also we did a few more rituals with Justine yesterday. Really amazing. We did some journeying. We journeyed and met spirit guides. We journeyed and oh gosh, I don't even remember because I know what happened for me. I met an ET guide who was 6-dimensional and he kind of weirded me out, but in a good way. It scared me a little bit because it was big, but it was a big love. It was a lot of love and a lot of power. And so that was a really amazing shift. And as you said, Crystal, I believe you said it, that when you have experiences like this, the healing and the changing and the transformation will start unfolding even days and I think even weeks down the line, because there's only so much that we can kind of like our higher self is kind of holding like, okay, this, we're going to ration it out a little bit.
Right. We're going to distribute it as you can use it without overwhelming you and short circuiting you. Yeah. So a lot of little implantations of nuggets of energy, of realization that begin to unfold as you go back home or you start doing your own thing. Yeah. Spirit seeks to partner with you and give you what you need in a way that you can utilize it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, any last words that you would like to say, Crystal?
Well, I think you're awesome.
Oh, I think you're awesome.
Well, and she and I are going to be hopefully doing a little bit of traveling next year. We are our first planned event, really.
Yeah.
I think it's either going to be 1 night or 2 nights will take place either in California or the Pacific Northwest. We're trying to figure it out, but we kind of want to take our show on the road. It's been such a pleasure. I've met you before, obviously, but it's been such a pleasure being able to co-create very intentionally and think about the people that were coming. You've got such a beautiful heart, and it's just been so wonderful. I love you so much.
I love you so much. We've only met one time before, but it's kind of amazing.
It's just a click. It's like,
yeah, absolutely. Sense. And like, again, so many of the attendees too, same thing. It's just like an instant family. And so I have to say thank you so much for all of the partnership and the opportunity. It just so much has changed in my life. You know what's crazy, Crystal? I didn't even realize this. I don't know if I told you this yet or not. I started this show the same month that I joined the lab. And I don't remember which one happened first. I think they were like kind of at the same week or something. And I didn't know this is that healing, keeping unfolding. I took one of your classes and I, joined the lab as a part of that because that's how it was set up then. And I had no idea. I was just taking a spiritual class from this awesome chick that I had found on YouTube. You should check out Crystal's YouTube channel. She is quite prolific. So much content there. So much truth bombs and just like, bringing in other dimensions and shifting your reality. Seriously. Yeah.
Can I say something though, a little bit about my process? Because one of the things that I love about the lab is that it's really a community. It's not just about me, it's about you or the teachers and stuff. But coming to this retreat was a real process for me because I had a lot of fear historically around things like public speaking. And it was actually really acute, debilitatingly so. But I just knew that first of all, I needed to up level in my own way and in my purpose. And I've always known this, but it was time to say yes. And by just being here and having other people witness that for me, it was just such a fun, not nervous, such flow. And again, I always say, when you lean into it, you start moving in the direction of your purpose. Spirit always shows up right there in that space with you. And it was just phenomenal I kind of pop out from time to time, from what I'm actually doing to just observe myself doing it and go like, wow, this is really rad. I'm not nervous. These people are awesome. And it was just so cool. I really feel blessed I'm tired, but I feel really blessed after this weekend. I know you do too.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. And I really, I know what you mean. So I felt the same way. I felt, because she's so powerful, and she does this incredible, like, earth shifting, shaking teaching, and then afterwards she'll say to me, like, is it okay? But I understand, because that's how I felt after my workshop too. I was like, seriously, I felt like I was you, like, seriously, you'd tell me, right?
I would tell you, you were awesome.
But it is scary experiences. It's just the body, and the earth personality is afraid of change. Mm-hmm. But if we deny that compelling energy of moving forward, then this is where, when we start to feel non-present, we start to feel stuck.
Right.
So we guess if the message of is just to get out there and do it, to take a chance on yourself. We also talked about letting your light shine, and then that is actually your work in this world. We feel sometimes like it is selfish, it is arrogant, it is, some kind of negative thing will happen if we start to explore or share or open ourselves up to the world. But that's actually your contribution to the universe. It's your contribution to this ecosystem. Mm-hmm. So shine your light, share your voice, do things that are a little bit scary. As long as you're making a choice out of love, it will be the right choice. Love works every single time.
It does. And usually those things that we fear give way long before we actually show up to do the thing. Mm-hmm. Like months and months ago, I was like, this is not going to be a problem, just by saying yes. And being willing to be vulnerable, not unlike Kimmy and not unlike Kelly, is just, it's almost all of it. Like, do that and Spirit takes care of the rest.
Yes. So again, find the Lightworkers Lab on Facebook. Just search for the Lightworkers Lab. And there's also a hard site, thelightworkerslab.com. We have many classes that we're offering. Crystal and I are partnering to do an immersive for opening up your intuitive abilities and changing your life.
That's going to be really awesome and evidential. Again, evidential is important. We're going to teach people how to be in their psychic abilities. Psychic kind of sounds a little weird, as we've discussed before, but we're really going to teach them how to become more spiritually evident and have the connections and the experiences that they really want to have.
Yes. And so do check us out there. And I will be back in the studio with Handsome Jarvis.
Handsome Jarvis.
Everybody loves you, Jarvis. Do you hear it?
Yes,
Jarvis.
it's so nice.
Oh yeah. And then he got all up in here. Oh yes. And he's blushing. I can feel it. So we'll be back live in the studio at ubnradio.com, channel 1, if you want to find us that way, in the Sunset Gower's studio. And I hope you will catch us live or on one of the archive broadcasts, either on podcast. You can check out my website. It's triciacarcharm.com. I'm offering I'm actually offering an empowered empath and highly sensitive intuitive class, and it's about to go live for anyone to take it anytime, like in a week or so. I spoke about it when we did the first live iteration of it, and you can find that. You'll be able to find that on my website, and you'll also be able to find it on the Lightworkers Lab website. But I do one-on-one sessions. I sometimes forget to mention that part of what I do. So
it's remarkable. You need to take the class. It is packed. Anybody here? So yeah, it is packed with remarkable content, and it's something everybody needs to do.
And we're building a community there as well. We have a little community of those empowered empaths, supporting one another. It's important, y'all. And like I say, highly sensitive and intuitives. So if you want to understand how to turn those sensitivities into the superpower that they are meant to be, check that out. I'll talk about it again next week. Join us again live next week on ubnradio.com or in any of my social media outlets, which you can find by just searching Tricia Carr Charm. And I will see you then. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.